pulled Ben's trousers down and slid his tings inside of Ben. Ben was jailed for 9.5 years. He was from a middle-class family and had never been to prison before. He only heard stories of what happens to boys in American prisons, but as he was going to a UK prison he thought those things didn't happen here, so he was not concerned about getting his cheeks busted in prison. Ben was white and 5'8" in height. New on the wing, the guards moved Ben into a cell with a guy called Max. Max was also a white guy who was 60 years old and had spent the last 37 years in prison. He was 5'10" and was a veteran on the wing and knew everyone in the prison. Everyone knew Max and he was also well liked by other prisoners. After the guards brought Ben to his new cell, they closed the door and walked away. It was now just Ben and Max in the cell all alone. Max was on the bottom bunk reading a book. He didn't even get up, but he put the book on the bed for a second just to say to Ben, "Hey new guy, don't worry, I'm not going to bust your cheeks." Max then picked up his book and went right back to reading. Ben then got on the top bunk and went to sleep. The next day they both got woken up by the guards for breakfast. Max got out of his bed and said, "Sorry about yesterday. I was really into my book so I couldn't shake your hand. My name is Max and it's nice to meet you." Ben was feeling really nervous as he shook Max's hand. Max advised Ben he will show him the ropes. He also advised Ben, if another man touches your booty you have to handle it immediately, otherwise the other inmates will see you as a woman and someone's tings will be up inside your booty before the end of the day. Max and Ben both went to breakfast together and in the line another inmate touched Ben's booty. Ben acted like he didn't see, but other inmates saw and so did Max. The other inmate touched Ben's booty again and Ben turned around and said, "Stop doing that." The other inmate laughed and said, "She's playing hard to get. I like that." The other inmates in the line all laughed. Max looked at Ben with disappointment because Ben didn't address the situation and now other inmates are going to think Ben is a woman. Ben knew what he had to do. Max said to Ben, "Let's get our breakfast and head back to the cell because we need to talk." Once back at their cell, Max told Ben, "You know you have to do something about this. You cannot make this slide. You were made a fool at breakfast today and everyone saw it. An inmate touched your cheeks and you did nothing. You pretty much just let him get away with it. You need to make an example of him before the day is over, otherwise someone will be up in your cheeks before this day is over. Someone is probably plotting to bust your cheeks right now as we speak." Max looked at Ben's face and it was pink as a pig. Ben was stressed out now as he told Max he wasn't a tough guy at all. Max told Ben he has a plan to get back at the inmate that touched Ben's booty. Max told Ben the inmate that touched your booty only has one leg as the other leg is fake. Max said the other leg was wooden, so if you go into his cell when guards open the door for social activities you can quickly push him on the floor and pull his fake leg off and throw it outside his cell and he won't be able to stop you. He will be on the floor, so it will be an easy win for you because he wouldn't be able to walk or run after you. All the other prisoners will look and laugh at him as the guy crawls on the floor to get his wooden leg back. This way you will get your respect from the other prisoners and no one else will try to bust your cheeks ever again. Ben told Max he will try but advised he couldn't fight to save his life. Max then said, "Listen to me, Ben. You may not understand this, but you are actually fighting to save your life right now, because once your cheeks have been taken you are never the same man again, so you have to stop this now. Max gave Ben some information about the guy. Max told Ben the one-leg guy shares a cell all by himself and no one likes him, so he wouldn't get help from anyone on the wing. Once we are in the cell I will close the door so no one else will be able to get in. Max told Ben this is the perfect time to get your payback. Max also said, Ben, I'm your friend, so I will come with you and help you. We will do this together, and once he is on the floor you will win. I will also keep a lookout for the guards. Ben gave Max a hug and said, you are a great friend, Max. Time went past and it was now time for social activities, so the guards opened each cell. Max and Ben both ran to the guy's cell and Ben went in the cell to try and grab the guy's wooden leg, but once Ben was in the cell he noticed something very different. The guy with one leg didn't actually share a cell all by himself. The guy with the wooden leg was 5'9" and black, but he also shared a cell with two other big black guys who were both 6 foot tall and were all ready and waiting in the cell together looking at the door, so as soon as Ben ran inside to grab the guy's wooden leg they all grabbed him and said, "The beautiful supermodel has come to visit. We were all waiting for you to arrive. We are all roasting." Ben looked at the guy's leg and tried to pull it off, but he noticed his leg was actually real. He then tried the other leg, which was also real. All of the men just stood there and started laughing and told Max, "You gave this supermodel the old wooden leg trick again," as they all laughed. Ben then looked at Max, who was at the cell door, and said, "Why? Just why?" Max looked back at Ben and said, "I'm sorry," as he shut the door so Ben couldn't escape. Max then ran back to his cell with his head held down as he heard Ben trying to fight them off, but he knew the guys were just too strong. One of the guys told Ben, "Max is our good friend. He is on our side. He is a great man who helps us to get women like you. He helps us to lure women like you into our cell so we can turn them out. Max has been on this wing the longest, so all the women like you trust him." Ben told them, "Let me go and stop calling me a woman, because I am not a woman. I am a man." One of the guys said, "You are no man. You are a beautiful white woman, and I'm going to show you why you are a woman." So two of the big black guys held Ben down while the other black guy who touched Ben's booty pulled Ben's trousers down and slid his tings inside of Ben. All three guys took it in turns to clap Ben's cheeks. While Ben was getting his cheeks clapped out, Ben thought to himself, "I can't believe what's going on." He was double-crossed by an old man he trusted, and now he was getting his cheeks clapped out. After all three black guys busted his cheeks and gave Ben cream pies, they threw Ben on the floor and all went to sleep. Ben was now in their cell, traumatized with no way to escape as the cell door was still closed. One of the guys said to Ben, "You are now my new girlfriend," as he fell asleep, curled up in a ball on the floor of the three guys' cell. Ben just laid there as he tried to understand what just happened. It didn't feel real, but he had to get to grips with the fact that he just had his cheeks blown out by three men. Ben also fell asleep. Not really because he was tired, but really because he wanted to escape what just happened. A few hours had passed and Ben was woken up by one of the big black guys clapping his cheeks again. Ben tried to fight him off, but the guy was just too strong. The guy was clapping Ben's cheeks while saying to Ben, "Take this BBC white boy, take it." Ben was in so much pain and couldn't stop what was happening. After the guy finished and cream-pied Ben, the other two guys woke up roasting, so they both took it in turns to clap Ben's cheeks too. All three guys cream-pied Ben. After finishing, they all went to bed and woke up the next day. Once all the guys woke up, they were getting ready for round 3, but the guards opened the door for breakfast. The guard noticed the smell and said, "This cell needs to air out. The entire cell smells like jiggy." Once the cell door was open, Ben ran out the cell with no trousers on back to his cell. Ben's booty was all blown out and was leaking sticky cream pie as he ran for his life. When Ben got back to his own cell, all he could say was why, just why. Ben was crying while he shouted at Max, saying, "I thought we were friends." Max said, "Ben, you are a nice guy, but this is prison and I need to worry about myself. I'm 60 years old, Ben. I'm an old man." When the three guys first came on the wing, they all wanted to bust my cheeks. They all invited me to their cell for free noodles, but when I got in the cell, they all tried to take my cheeks. Luckily, I managed to make a deal with them that any newbies that came on the wing, I would gain their trust and take them to their cell so the three guys can bust their cheeks instead. This is what saved me from getting my own cheeks busted. Ben, you have to understand, I don't want to get my cheeks clapped out in prison by anyone, so I have to do this to survive. Ben just got on his bunk bed and cried himself to sleep as he came to terms with the fact that he had just been turned out in prison.